Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. So I imagine a few of you will be wondering really what this video is. So this video is actually, now I did actually do a little bit of playthrough of the Reluctant Admiral, and after going through it I did play a little bit more afterwards. I think potentially something along the lines of obviously historical probably would be preferable. So today we are going to be taking a look at DaBigBabes, well, DaBigBabes mod for War in the Pacific here, though we are playing a very specific version of said mod. Now, what I intend to do with this one is, I'm not entirely sure if I would have the time to play a second game here, but basically what we're going to do here is we are going to take a look at the mod, and we are going to implement this as if we're setting up for the first turn. So what I intend to do is probably have this as, I don't know, a game to play while we wait for the main series. We'll do it like that. So anyway, I'll give you an introduction here to the DaBigBabes mod. So this is what I'm using here today. So, it is rather intriguing. So, DaBigBabes has minimal ships and classes and stock scenarios. Now, that doesn't mean that there are alternate history ships, it doesn't mean that there's really much in the way difference. But it's intended to really add additional detail to War in the Pacific. So you have such as yard patrol ships, yard oilers, basically these very small ships that are not featured in the main game. So yep, here we go. There's also substantially modified device files that provide a different and perhaps more realistic feel to naval combat, naval bombardment. Obviously AAA, combat, ASW combat, substantial modifications made to range, accuracy, penetration, effects, sealing, anti-armor, anti-soft, load cost parameters. It is some very interesting information here. We also do have differences here with the actual order of battles and the land units. Such elements as the base forces, for example, have been radically overhauled. So let's take a look. We'll find an example of a base force over here. So let's take a look at the 5th base force. So as you can see here, these numbers are different to what we would normally see in terms of the actual base forces. We do, of course, have... Well, really what it's intended to simulate is the fact that, well, base forces were rather powerful, so they have been broken up to a degree. You can still have it all there, but you have to actually pay for it in terms of logistics. You have to actually manage that and put it all together. Now, of course, I'm still using the actual extended map here. It's a little bit hard to really give concrete examples of what the differences are, per se, but the major difference here is the fact that aviation support has been really reduced, naval support has been reduced. For the most part, engineers are just not as effective as they are in the base game, which is rather intriguing. So, for example, over here, yep, aviation support is only 35. Now, we would have to contrast that with the data from the main game, but we'll take it for its face value right now. Now, what I'm doing here as well is I'm, of course, using a supplementary version here. So I'm using version C. Now, yeah, the C scenarios have been specifically modified, well, specially modified to reduce the bulk cargo capacity of all ships by 30%. Cargo capacities of certain tenders that require a minimum capacity for rearm purposes have been subsequently modified to retain their operational capacities. Yep. The C scenario has been developed for the express purpose of reducing operational tempo and strain transport capacity to limits that correspond more closely to those experienced by the historical combatants. As such, these scenarios are for play by true logistical grognards. These scenarios depart from the standard AE game model to such an extent that no AA files are included. They would be functionally irrelevant. So yeah, this is really intended purely for play-by-email games, which is rather intriguing actually. Hello there, James. It's good to see you guys as well. Yeah, this is a different mod. It's very much like, I suppose you could call this Vanilla Plus. Not radically different. Obviously, it's more so the game mechanics that are different here. Hello there, Iconoclast. But yes, for example, the cargo capacity of our ships has been reduced. Rather largely so. Let's see, can I find a good example? I suppose it's one of those things of I wish we did have a ship comparison here. Okay, let's go ahead and just find one over here then. Transport, here we go. Yep. Definitely need to find a good example. I suppose it's a little bit easier. We'll go through the game and then we'll be able to see things here. It's hard to show a 30% example without having something up here. As you can imagine, this is my traditional lack of preparation, which is always quite nice. Okay, so base game with more micromanagement of convoys. Yeah, pretty much to a degree. There are other differences as well. It does speak about the database being overhauled, so obviously ASW being different, AA being different, supposed to be more realistic. It would be rather intriguing to see how this plays out. So I think the way we're going to start over here then is, I thought it'd be quite nice as well, because obviously this is very close to vanilla. It's actually, it's not too far away from the base game. So I thought if we have a bit of off games here, we could actually go through as if we were setting up a completely new turn and really learn the lessons again. So for example, we're going to start with the R&D and yeah, change this to our actual plans that we have in place. Now, for those of you who are watching the actual main series, it's probably best to take this on the chin, as the information here discussed could be potentially sensitive, so of course bear that in mind. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to go through here and we'll set up our R&D plan. It should be rather interesting. I think what we're going to do over here then is like take a look at the amount of supply. Okay, we'll go through this and just convert it all then. And so we need, of course, 8 87.3s. So we'll go with that. I'll start with the zeros, move on to the fighters, yeah. Okay, let's get going then. So how is everybody doing today then? I'm pretty good, just I get really bored. See, this is the issue, I get really bored when I don't have a turn to play. So this is how I thought I'd cure some of that boredom. Have a little bit of fun here. Okay. Now, of course, we do want production to be about 30 facilities, so it's going to take some time. Now, each of these expansions obviously does cost us about 1,000. Actually, no, sorry, about 100 supply. So we do have to be quite careful. I'm going to be rather intrigued by this game because at the end of the day we can actually try to experiment with our openings. And we can actually try to experiment to a degree with different ideas, different setups, different tactics. So I think it'd be one of those where we can actually make a pretty good go at things. Try and learn, I suppose. Now I don't actually have an opponent here, so maybe in the future we'll see an actual turn played. But for a while, probably not. We're going to be spending a lot of our time here really just developing this actual turn. There we go. I do like the idea of the true logistical grognard experience. It does sound rather intriguing. Now, of course, we are playing with the actual stacking limits as well on the extended map. So, I mean, this is something that we haven't had to take into consideration. The amount of, let's say, troops within one location, the amount that we're going to need, the amount that we can actually support. I mean, that's a big thing there, being able to support those troops. After you go over the stacking limits, you do take horrendous supply penalties. Are you going to try another scenario in single player? Nope. This one, unfortunately, is not able to be played against the AI due to the nature of the beast. So this one's going to be one of those where we'll set everything up and then we'll have it as a sort of back burner to potentially in the future if I do find an opponent. I thought it'd be a little bit of fun. A little bit of fun while we have no turn to process for the time being. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus, I thought it'd be nice as well. We can go through the actual lessons learned here. I can show you guys really how I'd set a turn up, and we can all really discuss things. Learn together. I mean, a lot of the parts of the actual turn that did take us a while aren't going to take anywhere near as long now. There we go. Just 2 more. There we go. So of course there are places like, for example here at Mabashi, you can see that supply is only down to 4,000 tons. Now, obviously, we'd have to retro... Well... Really... try not to go retrograde here on the amount of supply in Japan. So we do have to be very mindful of that. Now, we do have a A6M2 roofie over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our actual R&D. So we've got that done. What we need to do now, then, is we have all our zeros. We need to be taking a look at the A7M2s. Now, due to the fact that we only have 4,000 supply here, it's going to be a gradual process. We'll get the main assets in the air, and then we'll go from there. Now, I do have one over here, A7M2. These are some really fantastic aircraft. But yep, feel free to ask any questions, guys. Now, of course, you can see here the heavy industry is being used up. We do have a pretty damn good amount of it to begin with. I need to change that over, so I'm looking for the A7M... yeah, the A7M2. Yeah, we do start with a great amount of heavy industry. So I'm going to be rather intrigued to see how we could potentially use that. And I might take a look at possibly developing the industry to a degree. Like maybe expansion of the heavy industry, but the thing is, I'm not entirely certain it's worth it to a degree. I think it's one of those things where it takes a very long time to pay, well, to really pay for itself. There are different thoughts, really, such as having development of the light industry. But the thing is with light industry, you can disperse it obviously to a much greater degree than heavy industry. And of course you do not need fuel, you just need resources. So obviously the ability there is, well, it can keep rocking even after the fuel is gone. Though, unlike heavy industry, you actually can't turn off the production there, which means you can't turn off its actual demand. So there's a lot of ups and downs, really, down that road. Hello there, Paul. Yep, so I'm playing the, well, the DaBigBabes mod here. I put it in the actual description, but I'm a little bit late, so I'll put it in the description later. But yes, it's a really radical overhaul of the game and how it plays. What I'm going to do here, then, is actually just get it up on the old Google. I'll post the actual link so you guys can take a look through it, and it's easier probably to take a look at it than for me to explain it. I've not played it all as of yet, so of course there's a lot of learning here to be done for us both. But yeah, there you go. If you want to take a look at that actual link, we'll be able to go through it together then, hey? Okay. Now, I do believe we may have the actual turn by tomorrow. Ideally so, ideally so. If not, it'll have to be done on the Saturday, as I will be streaming for Matrix again on this Friday. Okay. Right, so 1, 2. So what we're doing here is we are going to be having 8 facilities running R&D for the A6M3, 12 for the A7M2. We'll have 4 for the N1K1J. We'll have 4 for the B6N1 Jill, and 4 for the D4Y1s. We'll have 4 for the KI44 Tojos, 12 for the KI84As, 3 for the Randys, 1 E50 Norm, 6 P1Y1s. We'll have them, yeah, the actual torpedo variants, well, the ones that can actually obviously carry the torpedoes. 8 KI64-1ATs, and then for our night fighters, 2 Nick Ds, 4 P1Y2Ss for reconnaissance, 1 D4Y1C, and then 2 C6N1 factories. Yep, then a KI-115 and Toka. Well, I do believe we'll be carrying on the War in the West campaign. See, I get to choose a game, which is fantastic. But if they want me to run the same campaign, well, the same scenario, then yeah, that's their choice. We will be seeing some more War in the Pacific in the future, actually, so that's going to be really fun. I think with the Battle of the Marianas, it has been a very interesting experience. I'm actually half tempted to potentially, when we do eventually revisit it, to potentially load up as the allies and just see what we can actually rectify that situation. It could be a very interesting exercise. Okay. So the R&D part is fairly monotonous, so I wanted to get it done early, and then yeah, there's no worries then afterwards. I think I'll do the pilot training probably off cam for the most part. But we'll get the main things done here, like the R&D. I mean, once this is done, I mean, we did spend a long time really going over this in the main series. So having it done from the get-go is going to be much more advantageous for us. And there we go. And the aim of this R&D is really to try and mass-produce very capable fighters for Japan. Really streamlining bad production. And there we go, just 4 more. One more. There we go. Okay, so we have an A6M70 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, is that meant to be a A7M20? Or a SAM? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, there we go. A7M2 SAM, there we go. Trust me, I do wish there was a button that would actually let us just expand to 30 straight away. Hello there, Satanicus, how you doing, my friend? Oh, don't worry about that. This is actually not the main campaign. I guess I'll edit the title here. 1 second. There we go. I sort of edited the actual title there. So today we are really... I mean, this is going to be something of my off-day game, really. We don't have an opponent, but we are going to be taking a look at the actual DaBigBabes mod. And we are playing the C version of the actual mod itself. With the increased stacking limits, obviously we do have different units in the form of like the smaller boats, that sort of thing. I mean, the base force has been broken up into smaller units, is rather intriguing. There's a lot of really nice changes that I'd really like to take a look at. I really do find it rather intriguing, the idea of additional planning, especially when it comes to logistics. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, our cargo ships having their capacity reduced by 30%. I quite like that, because at the end of the day, obviously Japan did have, well, commitments with her merchant fleets, and well, with her bulk capacity. It's not like she could just completely concentrate upon the war. She did obviously have to take care of foodstuffs, which is rather intriguing, not to mention every other use that was there. I mean, hospital ships, prison ships, that sort of thing. Just transportations of good. Of different good civilian economy. So very much more to it than just the war. There we go. So it started to shape up. So for those of you who are watching, feel absolutely free to copy this as well. Ideally, it could serve you just as well it will ideally serve us in the future. Okay, back to the RGB plan. Let's take a look then. So we need the 4 N1K ones. We'll get those going. Now, of course, it is more advantageous to do this by different models, but I'm just going to go down the list just to make it easier on us. Okay. Oh, it's a good thing to familiarize ourselves with the different models here. We'll learn much more about them as the main series really goes on. As it be, I suppose the proof is always in the pudding, because at the end of the day, we don't know too much about them, because we've never used a lot of these aircraft. So it's not a bad idea to actually learn additional things about them now, in the relative safety here. Right, so I'm looking for the N1K1J. Yep, there we go for George. So we need 4 Georges then. convert this. Oops. That's another. Right. So what's everybody been up to today then? Do tell. And there's a lot of different models here that we'll probably never see for the most part. I suppose, from experience really does come knowledge. The fact that you can really learn more about the individual models. And really learn what you actually like. Because, I mean, it's a lot of it is down to, like, preference of the actual player, really. Better than Netflix. Dude, that is just such a good compliment. Thank you very much. And so, more powerful but greater resource fuel pinch. Well, no, I mean, in many ways, this is a lot closer to... well, I'd like to think this is much closer to the historical precedent than the vanilla game. It's like, this is basically vanilla Warner Pacific, but things are different. It's like, as I mentioned with the base forces, it's like their support has been reduced by 50%. I mean, aviation support's reduced by 50%, naval support in general. Engineers are spread out more so into different units. Like, I do believe there are different units here, and I'll have to obviously find them as we go through, but I think some units are basically engineering units, but how they work is, I don't believe that they actually aid with, like, rearm or repair, but basically they are there just to aid in unloading, unloading, which is rather intriguing. So, like, beach units, really, which I found really awesome. Okay, where's that N1K Georges? Here we go. Oops. We already had a few extra, but that's fine. Now 30 is the actual optimal size for the R&D. So you don't ever really want to go beyond that. So Mombasa we can't spend anymore, so obviously we need the additional supply there. And there we go, number 10. Why in their great wisdom they never saw fit to actually add a button where you can just type it in, I do not know, but hey. And I've been thinking about this today as well. Like, how, if given a chance to actually run the campaign again, how would we differ in our tactics? I think the question comes down to, right, one... yeah, I might change out the one on Mabashi actually, considering that we have 4 here now. Yeah, given the opportunity to restart the campaign, like, how would we actually change our tactics? Would we strike at Manila? Would we strike at Singapore with the carriers? Would we strike at, Pearl Harbor again? It's an interesting question, really. Okay, so we need 4D4Y1 duties. I mean, the awesome thing is the Mariana's campaign that we did have running there on the Matrix and Twitch channel. We did get to see how effective these other aircraft are. By the way, apologies for, like, bloody tripping up over my words again. You know those days when you just don't seem to be able to get the sleep that you usually do, and it just hits you all at once. But no, that's my moaning done for the day. I'm sure I'll perk up. Right, one more. There we go, that's the D4Y1 duties. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the Imperial Japanese Army fighters. So we need the 4 Ki-44 Tojos, the Ki-84s, and the Randis. Indeed. Okay, I think what we'll do then is we'll get all the models in here, and then we'll actually get them to correct size then afterwards. Now, at least then we can keep things moving quite quickly. And this isn't going to take long, and then that's R&D done. But I think it'll be good for the people, well, for those of you who are watching who are unsure how R&D works, at least you can actually see how you would set up your R&D. And yeah, that's something that you can just keep running in the background and really not worry about for a long time. Okay, the Ki-44s. I mean, this is one of the things here. It's like we don't have to research the Ki-44s. We do have an option. I don't know. It's one of those. It's like I do like the Ki-44. It's not the best fighter out there. It's not the worst either. It's good at what it does. It's a fairly good interceptor for the army. It does have decent gun value. The thing that kind of puts me off the Ki-44 is the fact that she's not really armed with cannons. I do very much like the cannons. But hey, you have to make do. So we can see the different models here. I mean, like the Ki-44-2C, yeah, that comes very late in the war. That is really a long time to wait. So it's definitely the Ki-44-2A, which comes pretty early, and obviously with R&D you can really scoot some time off for that. Okay, so we want 4 of those. Yep, so feel free to ask any questions, guys. There we go, just one more. I know it's perhaps not the most entertaining thing I'll ever do, but once we get this going, I think it could be quite a nice back burner of a series. Okay, now we want the Ki-84s. Whereabouts are they? Here we go. 84A. There we go, the Franks. Now, I mean, they do arrive fairly early into 1944. I think with the R&D, well, the R&D could probably get them like 1943, probably late, I don't know, maybe like mid-43 towards like later 43, but having them early and in sufficient numbers is really quite nice. It's something you definitely can't complain about. There we go, another Frank. There we go. Are you going to stream Imperator Rome when it's released? To be honest, I've not looked at it for a little while. I have been interested in it. I have been watching it to a degree, but I don't really get that much time to really spend looking at games. I know it sounds really odd because it's what I do for the most part, but I mean a lot of my attention is obviously on what I'm playing at that time. But it does look interesting. I really do like the fact that the actual like province density is much higher. I do like that. Okay, so we have way too many Ki-44s here, and change some of those over to the actual Ki-84s. It looks interesting. I think I would like to stream that. See, I'm not really that much of a fan of Paradox. I tend to really quite heavily slate a lot of their products. Okay. Just, I don't know, I'm not a fan of their, like, DLC model. It's like, it's okay, but I mean, man. It's a bit of a barrier to entry to a degree. I don't know, I'm a fan of the old, like, big expansions rather than lots of little ones. Oh, these are the B variants. There we go. I suppose the thing is as well, it's like with Imperator Rome, of course it's going to be focusing mainly upon the Roman Republic, and obviously then later on into the Empire. I think what I'd find interesting in, and more attractive is if there is like sufficient like depth and complexity to the other nations. Well, I suppose nation's not quite the right word, but other states perhaps. That's probably the best way to say. Yeah, I think my issue with the fact that they obviously have that, that's a lot of production right there. That's something, oddly large amount. Can I reduce that? I don't want to be overproducing. Okay, it does reduce, okay. I just want to try and keep everything the same here. Yeah, that'll do. Fantastic. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need obviously 12 in total. God, I felt like this took a lot longer the first time doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, there we go. I have actually bought a new RPG as well. I managed to find myself at long last a copy of Death Watch, the Final Flight Fantasy RPG. So I'm really happy about that. I've only got one of the actual series left to buy, and that would be Only War, which I'd love to do that. I'm still trying to get my actual friends to play Rogue Trader, so I'm trying to get them, and trying to corral them into playing Rogue Trader this weekend, actually. Which should be quite good. I'm going to set up a character creation session, really. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go, just 2 more. Yeah, so it's going to be really intriguing. It's like, I love Dark Heresy 2. I really love the way the book looks. And I also do have Dark Heresy, the first book. There's so much in the way of expansions for that game. So I think what I might do is really try and see how I can make it all work together, because that would be rather interesting. So there, Cola. No, this is DaBigBabes mod. So what I'm doing here is this is going to be my fallback game to play and just go through when we don't have an actual turn to play. I don't have an opponent for this, but we're going to get everything set up. So it's going to be like a pre-turn one for the Japanese, obviously using the mod here with the stacking limits and obviously the different variation of said mod. But it'd be really a chance for us to go through the entire thing once again. And yeah, I mean, I'll make a save of it at the end. And then obviously if people want to use that save for themselves, then they are more than welcome to. I'd imagine it'd still be compatible with most versions of the game. I don't think it'd matter too much. I don't think it'd make that much of a difference, actually. I'm not entirely sure. Be interesting. Okay. We should have a turn back tomorrow, actually, which I'm going to be very excited about. Ideally, anyway. Of course, I'm not rushing THG, and there's no rush. It's just obviously excitement building. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go, awesome. Okay, so moving on. The 3 Randys. The Randy A variant. Okay. Still working on your turn 2 setup. Well, here we go. I mean, this is it. I mean, if you have any questions, we can go through it together as well. So that's pretty cool. I wonder how the system so I don't quite understand that question. Do you mean like, how would you modify this system? Okay, did I say I was looking for the Randy? Oh, right, modeling, yeah. Modeling the global conflict. Well, crazy, isn't it? I suppose, it'd be a very interesting question, really. It's like, do you model the greater economies to the degree? Do you model the civilian economy? There's a lot there to model. I think what would be interesting is actually having the introduction of food to a degree. And I suppose like commercial goods or like civilian industry perhaps. I think that could be rather intriguing. If I can prove that spreadsheet is a good way to learn your way around the game. Oh hell yeah. It's a little bit dense at first because obviously if you've not played the game, it's like you have no frame of reference for what a lot of the things mean. Or like why a lot of the decisions are made, but it's really good. Okay, what am I looking for? The Randy. Where the hell is that Randy little bastard? Right, looking for the nickname. But I'm going to try and get my players to actually make their own characters, try and get them interested in 40k. And I mean, I personally find it rather crazy that people haven't actually heard of 40k, but and one of them has, but the other two aren't really too much up on 40k at all, which is frankly shocking, but I'll try and fix them. What am I looking for here? The Randy A. Where the hell is the Randy A? God damn it, my eyes are just burning here. Randy. Hmm. Right. I'm seemingly missing that one. Okay, let's do a little bit of a Google here. Okay, so the KI-102. I believe anyway. Hard to say, actually. I think it's the KI-102. Interesting. I can't remember what my original R&D was, actually. I mean, obviously this is the original R&D, but I can't remember what the bloody Randy is. I might have bloody just missed it. More than likely. We'll see if we actually have a KI-102 here. At least my point is in the right direction. Ah, yeah, there we go. The KI-102 Randy. There we go. Okay, so I'm looking at different versions here. So this version, the 102B arrives. Well, sorry, the 102B RA. So they're all RAs. So this is the A, B, and C. So, 45, 44, 45. Yeah. Okay, we'll go with the 102. Actually, let's take a look then. So we'll go ahead and actually just load up the tracker. And just so I can actually take a look at what's going on here. 2 ticks there, guys. Take a look at the different aircraft. Okay. Aircraft comparison. So we're going to be comparing the Randy then. Now, I do believe it's an army plane. Yeah, there we go. Do I actually have the oh, okay, don't seem to have a different model, so I can only see the 102A. But she looks like a mean beast. Wow, okay. So we have a, wow, a 37mm cannon here, and then 2 20mm Hope 5 cannons. That's pretty cool. Okay, I like it. I like it. Gun value, yeah. And she's armored, of course. Altitude, look at that altitude. Yeah, so I can understand that she's pretty much a bomber hunter. Pretty damn good speed there. Yeah, she's most definitely aimed at fighting bombers, it seems. Which makes a lot of sense then. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the actual 102A. I mean, I don't have any information regarding the 102 like C or B, so it's a hard decision to make on that one. Then again, let's go ahead and take a look at the database, then, shall we? So, aircraft database. Japanese aircraft here. So looking for the KI-102s. Yep, here we go. So, Randy. Yeah. Service rating 2, 102B. Okay. Same service rating there. Fuck me, a 57mm cannon. Okay. Wow. Like, that's a big old bloody gun on a plane, isn't it? Jesus Christ, that's an actual bloody... That is a cannon. Bloody hell. That's crazy. Okay, how does this really compare then? Gun value 19, bloody hell. So you can see here, speed 373, 360, 373, cruise 255, 249, 255. Altitude, yeah, so she doesn't have the same maximum height here. We'll double check the actual maximum height. Do I actually get to see maximum height of altitudes here? Doesn't see... Ah, right, max altitude, 36,000 feet. 102B, 30,000 feet. 102C, 36,000 feet. Oh, she's armed with dual 30mm cannons. Okay, that's rather interesting then. So suppose the actual options really stem from the fact of, like, okay, 9 fighters, interestingly. Yeah, so do you want to have... What is it, the 37mm cannon and 2 20mm cannons? Or do you want to have a whacking, big-ass 57mm cannon? That's just crazy. Oh my god, that is crazy. That is absolutely insane. Or do we want to go with the 102C, which is, bloody well-armed, holy moly. So we actually have 2 30mm cannons, and then we have, of course, the 2 20mm cannons here. As exceptional. Now, radar. Do they all come with radar? They actually do not seem to all come with radar. Okay, that's rather intriguing, man. Seems not. What's the service rating of the 102C? Intriguing. Huh. I mean, that's really hard to pass up, the actual ability to have radar. That is a hard one to pass up, and that's a bloody good armament. I mean, like, dual 30mm cannons. I suppose the thing is, it's like, What is there that we really want, then? Do we want, like, raw killing power? But then again, I mean, this is not bad at all. I think having, like, the dual 30mm and the dual 20mm is actually rather impressive. But then again, there's a lot to be said for the 57mm cannon. That is, yeah. I mean, these B-17 Fortressers, the B-24s, it's like they're armoured, and then the B-29s, I mean, they're bloody well armoured, but yeah, there's not much they can do against the 57mm cannon. But I do like this. I think I really do favor the Ki-102C, actually, considering the fact that, yeah, she has bloody radar, and she has a pretty good armament. I mean, this is nice, very nice. The fact is, as well, it's like the altitude is 36,000 feet, but I suppose the question comes down to, range 600, effect is 5, penetration 4, 26 accuracy. Compare that to 102A then. Yeah, 37mm cannon. Effect 4, penetration 6, range 600, accuracy is only 6 though. 102B. Accuracy is 8. So yeah, we do not have much in the way of accuracy. The effect is obviously higher, but it's not that much higher. So I think we'll definitely go for the 102C then. I mean, having radar, I mean, that's bloody hard to argue with, isn't it, really? Okay, Ki-102C. But, very, very interesting model. I suppose the question is, it's like, how would you really try to best use that? I suppose it would be combat air patrol, well, night combat air patrol, to try and hit the bombers. But of course, the thing is, you do have to actually mind the escort, so... I suppose it'd be nice, companion to the Ki-84s. I guess we're looking for Ki-102s. I don't know what kind of say this actually has the numbers in different orders. Right, 102C. So that does come pretty late into the war, but we could accelerate the actual introduction of said aircraft by obviously having the R&D, so I suppose it's worthwhile. But having something equipped with radar is going to be super, well, super handy. And she's got a very nice armament as well, like the dual 20s and the dual 30s, that's really good. Okay, there we go, 3 of them, awesome. Definitely what I like to see. Okay, so we've got that, we need an E15 factory. Yeah, E15K1 norm. There we go. Now, 6 PY1s? P1Y1s? There we go, the Francis. What do you guys think then? Any thoughts on which target would be best to hit then? So for example, using Kitabutai, would it be perhaps best to hit Manila? Would it be best perhaps to hit Singapore, Pearl Harbor? Or are there other options? I suppose there are, of course, other options. I suppose it's one of those of, like, where do you get the maximum for your, like, actual bucks, really? I mean, they do have 20 times the actual movement capabilities, but not effectively infinite, so you still have to make a choice. Right, P1Y1. See, I'd be half tempted to even maybe split up Kitabutai. Have them hit Manila. But I don't know. It's funny, actually. I still think, I still kind of lean towards Pearl Harbor. I think it's one of those things, it's like, you can actually hit Manila with the actual naval bombers, and that's doable. I suppose it's like, what do you really choose? Like, the naval... or the battleships, or do you, like, choose to hit these submarines? I think in some ways, I do very much still agree with Pearl Harbor. I think the actual question comes down to the fact of, like, the economy... Well, then again, it's like, I would rather not allow the Americans any battleships. I mean, if they were able to continue with all their battleships undamaged, I think that really would accelerate American efforts in the Pacific dramatically so. Yeah, you can imagine that is a solid power projection there. Okay, P1Y1s. Some P1Y2s there, actually. Right, yep, P1Y1. Seems we do have... so we're looking for PY1T, I believe. There it is. There's definitely a P1Y1. I think I've just gone blind again. Oh, I'm clicked on one of them. Okay, that would make sense. There we go. P1Y1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 6 of them. There we go. Right. We're actually nearly done now. There's only a couple left, and it's not going to take us too long at all actually doing them. So we need 8 KI-64 and the torpedo variants. There we go. KI-64. Probably here somewhere. Or is it... No, I think that actually, yeah. Blackstar did make a mistake on that one, calling it the KI-64. I think it's actually the KI-61-1A. Yep, there we go. Introduced pretty early, actually. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that actual aircraft. I can't remember if it's a Navy aircraft or Army. Or is it the KI-67? It might be the KI-67, actually. I'm kind of glad I actually checked this. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Okay. Hello there, good man. How you doing, my friend? Hit Pearl Harbor with Kitabutai and hit Manila or singers with the Kitabutai. I love that name, Kitabutai. I mean, I suppose it's one of these things. It's like, would it be perhaps worthwhile to actually split Kitabutai up, potentially have just a small element of Kitabutai? And I could potentially do that. I mean, maybe it could be worthwhile having, like, the 4 fastest carriers sent to the Pacific, and then, like, the 2 slower carriers actually kept really in Asia to speed up the advance against the Dutch East Indies. I suppose you get, like, it's like having your cake and eating it too. But I still think it's probably the best option to go for Pearl Harbor. I just don't think it's a good idea to allow the US to actually have all those battleships. Well, just the entire naval base, just everything there unharmed and ready to go immediately. Seems like a very dangerous thing. I mean, a lot of the American strategy was obviously based on the Rainbow plans. And a lot of that obviously did call for, like, these rather large battleship fleets. So yeah, probably best off to deny that. Okay, I mean, this is a very nice aircraft. So the K-671A, that's what we're going for. Fairly late introduction, but that's not an issue. Oops. Shit. There we go. Ah, KO-109. There we go. How many of these do I need? So I need 8 of these bad boys. Right, how are we looking? 1, 2, 3. There we go. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can one hit the Philippines hard enough to turn the defenders into a bunch of manila folders? Well, I mean, you can do a lot of damage. Like, it is possible to do a hell of a lot of damage to the actual submarine fleet there. But I think it could be... I don't know, it's one of these, isn't it? I mean, the idea as well of, like, hitting, for example, Singapore's rather intriguing. I mean, like, potentially hitting the actual airfield there. But I suppose it's like, where do you really get the best bang for your buck? It's either Manila or Pearl Harbor. I think Pearl Harbor is one of those where it's very dubious, really, of the damage you can inflict. But of course, that does put you in a position then to actually hunt the American carriers, which obviously does give you a major boost there, should you obviously succeed in that. One of those, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go, just one more. And given how many torpedoes repulse in Prince of Wales absorbed in some games, it's probably a bad idea to let them... Yeah, I mean, they're tough. They really are tough. And the thing is, it's like they make amazing AA platforms. And yeah, it's like, as you say, it's like they're tough. It's like they take a lot of punishment. They're obviously fantastic for the bombardment. It's one of those things of, I don't think it's worthwhile to let... And obviously the American battleships, I mean, even in our own game, I'd imagine the American battleships will be sallying out at some point in the near future. The ones that were least damaged. But at least they're not going to be in massive numbers. There we go, 8 of those bad boys. Okay, 2 nicks. So I do like the K-49 1A Helens, but alas, no. Would be nice, but we don't have the capacity for that as of yet. Okay, so nick these. And now the hunt begins. Okay, the KI-45. Let's take a look at the old bugger then, shall we? Oh, that would be a fighter, I do believe. Fighter bomber? Ah, right, here we go, the KI-45. Yep, the nick. And these would be rather intriguing to actually use. Fighter bombers. So is Prince of Wales bad in this game or not? No, Prince of Wales is actually one of the best warships in the entire game. I mean, she is... I'd say until the arrival of probably Yamato and like Iowa and obviously the other more modern battleships, like she is the shit. Like she's a very, very good warship. Very fast as well. Excellent, excellent battleship. Excellent modern one. Okay, yeah, so we're going to go then with the, I don't have an actual Nick D. Right, we have the ABC. We'll see what we have here then. So we are looking for the Nick D. So we know it is a Ki-45, so at least that makes it much easier to find. Right, Japanese aircraft. Ki-45s. Ah, here we go. So we have the... oh, so it's a night fighter. Okay, that makes sense. Suppose we already do have some night fighters, however. It reminds me of the Ki-102, actually. I suppose it basically is the same aircraft, just obviously different setup here. Hmm. 500 kilograms of bomb. 500. Yeah, 500, okay. And we'll stick with the night fighters then, but it's a shame actually. So if they had a decent bomb load, I'd be very much considering like actually going for fighter bombers, but it seems not. There we go, the D. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's a B. How many of these do I actually need? So I only need 2 of these, actually. Okay, that's fine. So... 4 P1Y2 S's. Yep, there we go, P1Y2. Need 2 more of those bad boys. Right, there we go. Okay, we don't have much left here. I do need a Toka, so we've already got that, which is good. We'll go ahead and actually take a look at the Toka. Which you count as a fighter bomber? Dive bomber have? No, level bomber. Is she the Navy? She might be Navy. Actually, we'll look at it in the actual database. Probably easier that way. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? There we go, Toka. She's a level bomber, okay. Right. Technically classed as a light bomber. But yeah, I believe these guys are your kamikaze planes for the most part. But look at that speed, 385 mile per hour. Altitude doesn't matter. But yep, she carries a 800 kilogram bomb. Pretty nice, actually. They're on a one-way trip, but at the end of the day, the thing is they get in there at near 400 miles per hour. They're gonna hurt. Okay. D4Y1C. So that's a reconnaissance. That has some extreme range. Like, really impressive range. I think it's like up to 30 hexes of range, which is really bloody impressive. That's like 1200 mile range. That is really awesome. Okay. C6M1s. Okay. Let's do those bad boys. And then we need a KI-115. Oops. Have I missed something here? I missed one of the actual other ones over here, but that's fine. So I need myself an KI-15, 115. What's the differences here? So we have two different models. Level bomber. There we go. That is so crazy looking. So we have the A variant over here. Yeah, that looks like another kamikaze aircraft, actually. Okay, so you're just literally a better, faster model, so might as well go for the K8. Yeah, definitely. The B variant. There we go. Okay, so let's double check then. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2 MERTs, 4 D4Y1s. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 C variant, 1 E, 1, 2, 3, 115, 4 Tojos, 3 Ki-45Ks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yep, 12 AT4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that might be why. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be we need another George, actually. There we go. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so that is our R&D setup, so that's one of the longer things done. I know it's rather boring to watch, but at the end of the day, if you don't have an idea of how to run your actual R&D, then, yeah, here you go. Now I'll do this off cam actually, bring it all up to 30. I suppose you guys don't want to see that. Okay, so with that done, that's nice to do. So obviously what we're going to do now then is take a look at actually having our ports upgraded. Obviously the ones we're going to be running the supply from, well, the resources from. So we'll take Fusan, spend the port here at Fusan. Now, I suppose we've reduced capacity, it's obviously going to be one of those things of, well, we'll have obviously the same amount of ships there, but with reduced capacity, I suppose Kijo does take on an actual additional value here. Because if you can't load it all up at Fusan... yeah, reduced capacity, therefore we'd have to have more convoys to have that same capacity. So yeah, it's probably worthwhile having Kijo upgraded as well, like actually upgraded to a decent standard as well. Okay, Port Arthur's already fine. Shanghai. Upgraded Zadport. Shimaneski. Probably saying it wrong and been saying it wrong for a while, but... meh. There we go. Yeah, and so that's all the port upgrades. Okay. Ah, oil storage, resource storage, yep, that's what we need. This is why I play as the Allies, but it doesn't hurt watching to see why war constraints and opportunities the Japan player faces. Yeah, that's the best way to look at it, really, isn't it? And at the end of the day, if you learn how Japan plays, then at least you'll be able to do it in the future if you wanted to. There's no bad side. There we go. Not nearly take us... well, not take us anywhere near as long as it normally would do. Okay, we are going to have to go for all the actual industry centres here. But we'll do it in stages. Okay. Actually, said better supply. We'll set it about 5k then. But again, heavy industry is going to need fuel as well, isn't it? So, yeah. Can't remember if Tokyo actually has any refineries. Turn off for the time being, and then obviously if we need it again, we'll turn it back on. Hello there, Diligent. How you doing there, my friend? Okay, Yokohama. So obviously we want to have the fuel supply here and the resources, just to have the industry chug along. We definitely need a lot of supply in China. This would be DaBigBabes' big mod, actually. DaBigBabes mod. So the C variant. What I'll do here then is post a link again so you guys can take a look if you'd like to. There we go. Possibly the most boring thing to watch I've done for a little while now, due to the fact we don't have an opponent. But I'm sure you guys like it anyway. There's some of you that are true soldiers. But yeah, once we got this main setup done, then obviously make a save and keep it for all time, really. Obviously make changes as we need to. Actually, a large amount of supply and demand there. Low amount of fuel here. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll definitely bear that in mind. I suppose it's not absolutely essential. I mean, if you wanted to do it in some kind of, like, AAR, like, after-action report, that's more than doable. There we go, almost done now. Basically, we'll want every centre with heavy industry to be properly supplied, and then obviously the production can will actually continue. And heavy industry is awesome in the fact that it obviously does contribute to the global economy of the, well, Imperial Japanese Empire, while light industry is only localized. There we go. And yeah, you need heavy industry for a lot of things. Oh, OBS is really easy to set up, man. Best part is it's free. Can't argue with that. Yeah, most definitely. There we go. So that's all the heavy industry done there. I mean, to be honest with that is a lot of the actual other centres as well, so it makes things easy. Okay, I mean, there's not much left here, but obviously with these light resource centres, we need to tell them to actually store actual supply, resources I should say. Obviously then they use that to produce supply. Right. I suppose it could be permissible to have like some small expansion to light industry to a degree. It would be very nice in trying to supply areas with low access, perhaps. It's a hard thing, though, so it's like it is a big upfront cost that does take a long time to really pay off. So I think we'll leave industry expansion for the time being, and I'll do a little bit more research into that one and decide if I want to do that or not. Oh, good. I think I can just, like, go down here then. That's awesome then. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. That's what we need. And again, no, this is going also very well. I swear these arrows just lie. Well, yeah, Mbashi definitely needs supply. I'm gonna have that put to 10,000, just obviously due to the fact that there's a lack of everything there. One more. Oh, never mind. I'm so very glad it changes the colour. Can you imagine if it didn't actually change the colour and you still had to freaking look through this? Oh, that hurt. Right, there we go. So that's all the light industry done as well. So that's some heavy industry, light industry, refineries. Also, just need to tell them to store oil. Obviously, supply as well, I suppose. I think I just need the oil. I didn't realise I had refineries out there. We don't have a huge amount of refineries, so this one's not going to take too long. Yep, nearly done already. It feels good to actually revisit the economy to a greater degree, because it's been a lot of tactical and operational in the main series for a while now. So going back to the actual roots of it here is probably going to be very good. At least I may actually get an understanding of the economy, and we'll be able to really keep an eye on it. Right, there we go. Refineries are done. Oil itself. There we go. So that's oil and refineries done. Right, armament. I guess just supply, really. Give each of them, for the most part, about 5k. Yeah, well, there we go. Armor's done. Vehicles. Engines. Gifu definitely needs a lot. We're storing oil there, just obviously... the way to think about it is, these oil centers, for example, they're not always going to be necessarily near the refineries. So you have to imagine that, yeah, we are going to have to go and pick that oil up. So if we have it stored there in the actual oil centers, we always know where it's going to be. We can always tell it if it's actually near a refinery to stop storage, and then obviously have it sent out naturally. But it's handy just to keep it where it's produced, and then at least we know where it is at all times. That's really the rationale. Okay, that's good. But I'm going to say probably 7,000, obviously we do need more here. Yep, there we go, done with vehicles as well. Yep, that's done. R&D air. Yeah, no issue at all. I mean, it's a good question to ask. There we go. And the vast majority of things in this game really don't happen unless you have like 20k supply. So it is good to actually have the supply build up. There we go, lovely. Oh yeah, I mean that's it, isn't it? It's like you have unlimited resources for the most part, so you don't need to worry too much. Okay, so that is, I suppose, the most arduous part of the economy. We still obviously have a lot of pilot training to do, but obviously I think I'll just do that off cam. Then, to a degree anyway. It's not really that hard. I suppose the thing is, it's just obviously you have all of the pilots really just thrown out of an actual squadrons. Is this going to be a new game series on top of yours? It's going to be really one, like, obviously I need to find an opponent, but it's going to be one of those where, like, when I actually don't have a turn for the main campaign, I was going to see THD's working on his turn, then at least I have something just to really go with. So I suppose that's the way to look at it. God, I keep getting bloody tongue-tied. Right, okay, so with that done, let's take a look at our forces and see if we can spot any differences. So engineers. Right, let's go by load cost. Unrestricted. I'd love to actually compare this to the proper numbers. We'll do that next time, I reckon. Dude's busy. I mean, dude's got a life. So, no, that's absolutely fine. They might arrive later, actually. Irritating me, I can't see the arrival schedule as of yet. Oh well. Right, limited supply. Alright. Alright, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know he's been feeling too well lately, actually. No, this is, I know it's understandable considering it looks exactly the same, but this is a different mod here, so this is DaBigBabes mod. So it's going to be like just a sideline game for the most part. Okay, so let's talk a bit more about the actual operational strategy. I might even put... I don't know how you actually make timestamps, but I guess I could like put a stamp on the actual part of the video, like saying if you actually want to see some operational stuff and go to so-and-so. But okay, let's take a look at what we actually have available here. So of course we do have Kidabutai. Now, it does make me wonder, because it's like, let's take a look. So for example, if I was to form a second force here, so air combat, yeah, okay. I'm going to say Kidabutai. Nakagi. Do you ever try to take Hawaii within your first month? Oh, shit. I mean, if you can take Hawaii within your first month, then I'll take my hat off. But if you can take Hawaii really at all, I'll take my hat off. I mean, it would be bloody... It'd be impressive. It's one of those things where, yeah, you'd really have to commit hard, really hard to doing that. You'd have to throw a lot of firepower at Hawaii. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Kidabutai. Alright, Kidabutai. 2. Right then, so it doesn't seem that we actually benefit from the surprise rule. Seems only this task force, yeah, as you can see by the asterisks. Just raise the question though. I mean, the thing is, it's like, obviously they would have to travel under their own steam. Yeah, good luck with that, man. Good luck with it. It's rather intriguing then. So if we take a look then, for example, for the sake of argument, if we were to head, let's say... And also, we don't need to be too close to the Philippines, but we'll say here just on the S of the Philippines. So I'd make 4 hexes per day. I mean, obviously, if we ran at full speed, we'd be able to reduce our distance and time to arrival. But let's see. Right, so 55 hexes. Direct. Yeah, so 55 hexes is the best we're gonna get. Let's take a look at it then. So 4 hexes per day would be there in about 13 days. If we were to travel, let's say full speed, we'd be there in literally a week, so close to 7. It's an interesting thing. A lot of points, yeah, true. But it's a big, very large task. I suppose in reality you could get away with it. Yeah, so Kidabutai 2. So she'd bring 144 aircraft, 135 ready. Let's take a look then. So of fighters, she would bring 36. Dive bombers, 45. 54 torpedo bombers ready, but 16 total. That's not bad. I mean, 100 odd planes. Obviously, that could combine then with the 2 light carriers, the 2 escort carriers. I mean, Kidabutai won anyway. I mean, that's still a sufficient force there. I suppose the thing is, it's like, what do you want to really do? Because it's like, if you have, I suppose this is it. It's like, you could have Kidabutai split up so you have the carriers arrive later. Like, they'd arrive here in the area about a week later, give or take at maximum speed. Or 2 on lower, at normal speed. Or obviously, I suppose the thing is, it's like, a surprise. Yeah, I mean, that is it. It's like if we were to strike at Manila the first turn, we'd have to have Kidabutai come down here. If I want to strike at Pearl Harbor first turn, I obviously have to go down there. I mean, in my heart of hearts, it's like I do very much like... I do a good evil Pearl Harbor. Okay. I hadn't realised how that sounds, actually. You guys know what I mean. In game terms, I agree with Pearl Harbor, not like in actual reality. Alright, there we go. You ever thought of combining all your CVs into ground fleet and bash the allies early? I know that's all eggs in one basket, but I like the idea of 400 plus or so aircraft coming in one wave. I mean, you definitely can. I mean, it's one of these things of, like, I'd like to do that, but it's a case of just, like, actually practicality. Like, actually trying to reach your carriers and try and get them all into the same area. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like, it's probably not wise. I say probably having 2 groups of carriers is probably the best way to go. At least then if you have one attack and you can have one move into another area, it just gives you that flexibility. But I mean, this is it. You could always use them all together at once. It's really the options up to you. Okay, let's see what we have available here. Task Force 1. Task Force 2. We'll take these guys from Task Force 141. And the beauty is, obviously, Kidabutai 2 could actually pick up additional warships from Japan. I mean, we do have a battleship, I do believe, in Tokyo. I think we still have the escort carriers around here as well, so there's actually quite a few odd bits and bats you could actually pick up from Japan here. Yeah. Okay. Here, Kirishima. Definitely good if you're taking the actual heavy cruisers out there. You definitely need a good escort fleet. Have a cool man. I suppose the thing is, it's like, if you got the battleships there. Yeah, 4 battleships and 4 CVL slash E's. I'm half debating whether actually to take the Congo-class battleships from Kiributai. Then again, I suppose at the end of the day, it's like, if I was to take Abikuma, Hiei Kadeshima to the Congo-class, we only gain 3 knots, but we lose, like, 3 warships, so I'd say not worth it. Coordination fails once the strike. Ah, wow. Okay. I think that was good. Also, we'd have that head down south. Yep. There we go. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure, like... I don't know, I suppose you could actually work it out. I can't, I'm lying too late at this point. But it seems like if you have, like, 30 hexes, well, 30... I don't know, actually. It's an interesting thing, really. So it's like you have, like, transports that make, like, 3 hexes per day. And then, like, half the speed of Kiributai. I'm actually rather intrigued. I suppose mission speed's an interesting one. I guess full speed is where, obviously, you make full use of that speed. It's an interesting one to say, actually. There we go. Part of me wonders, is it actually worthwhile having the replenishment ships sent out this way? I think it probably would be. I'm going to say for the time being, actually have them sent to KYJ. And obviously they'd move 20 times the actual movement. But I think it'd be probably for the best. And considering I'd actually be able to have them dispersed throughout the South Pacific there. Use them as like a big bank of fuel. Obviously we'd have Kiributai head back then towards KYJ. But of course we'd have like the actual oilers sent out there as we need them. 1 knot is 27.6 miles, so I guess 1 per day. Yeah, I mean each hex is 40 nautical miles as well. Yep, we have our battleship over here. So if my factories are not growing, you may not have enough supply. Or you may not have actually turned repair on. Okay, Mutsu. Yes. See, the Nagato class is the toughest battleship we actually have besides Yamato. 156 durability. Very nice. Okay, I suppose you'd obviously have them head out and meet Kiributai too. Yep, another battleship over here. Yamashiro. Ooh. Katagami. Various destroyers. But having good calm is nice. Yeah, so you have like quite a few forces out here that are basically ready to go. Yeah, so I think that's the right way. I think having the fast carriers in the South Pacific, well, in the Pacific itself, does give you a lot of options. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is it. Yeah, I know, right? I think it's one of those things of like where having carriers down here, especially in the South China Sea and like towards the, well, in the Philippines Sea, South China Sea, Gulf of Siam, really is just worthwhile. I mean, 2 fleet carriers, obviously Kitabutai 1 is also still an effective striking force, and pretty modern carriers there. Obviously not a massive decrease in aircraft numbers. And 150 is a lot, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I mean, that's it, really. We haven't really been able to try and wipe out submarines out here. Ah, so here's one of the actual new ship types. The yard oiler. There we go. So obviously that is a much smaller craft than we've seen before. But this is what DaBigBabes actually brings in here. And the Allies have them more so than the Japanese. Yep, here we go. 4 battleships over here. Bloody big 4s. Zuiho Hosho. I mean, having Gyoda over here, but look at all these guns. Yeah, so in reality, you can actually build up a pretty sizable Kiributai 2. But then we'd be bringing to bear 6 battleships, 2 fleet carriers, at the very outset at least a light carrier and escort carrier, then having Chiyoda. Yeah. Have them make tracks for Yokohama. There we go. Yeah, that's true. I mean, speed's not a massive concern when it comes to, like, East Asia. So, like, at the end of the day, you don't have to go too particularly far, so... Yeah, it's not like chasing something in the Pacific where speed makes a massive difference. Oh, dude, that's really nice. I've learned a lot as well. I mean, it's like I've learned so very much since I started. And it's like, I'm still learning now. Learn a lot from everybody who's helped me. So it's one of these things is like we'll learn together. Yeah, we'll take a look at the aircraft. So, 3647. 77 aircraft into... Oh, well, obviously that's for the float planes. So, 36 ready. Yeah, I suppose you do. It's very much like the early stage where you have to make or break. Okay, let's look for natural carriers. I think the other ones are down by the Philippines, actually. Ryuja. Yep, she's down here about Baldoab. Ah, Tayo's over here as well. Okay. It's a bloody shame she's so very slow, but hey. It does make one wonder, would it be perhaps worthwhile to actually have these lighter carriers actually head out this way? But I'd say no, just because it's like... I suppose you could potentially like run a improvised campaign against like New Britain, potentially. Okay. Japan can only build like 10 to 15 CVs, US build 150, Japan needs to build more. Yeah. Oh dear. Nah, I need to try towards Manila. Wouldn't be a major strike. No, this will be decent. And it does make me wonder, actually. I mean, Taiyo, she's very bloody slow at only 21 knots, but that's actually not bad when you combine it with, like, moving. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wonder, like, having the actual escort carrier down here. I mean, Taiyo, she only has, like, a very low speed. But I wonder if it could be worth it to keep it down to this area to actually move aircraft between the islands. It could be interesting. Or even just use it to support actual amphibious operations. Yeah, I think so. I think it's one of those things of where you could potentially get away with it. I'd say at least at this early part of the war. You're not going to expect too much. And then obviously then, It's just a tough one, isn't it, really? I mean, she doesn't have much in the way of speed. But I mean, she could be used to really support operations down here. Yeah, I think I might go for that. Rather than have her make her way all the way to the bloody home isles, or to slow down our carriers around, like, the Philippines. Oh, no, I know you can fly them to each island, but I'm well aware of that one, don't worry. But more so, it's nice to actually have them available, because we could potentially fly. I think, yeah, I'm pretty damn sure they can actually base float planes aboard. I'm pretty damn sure they can base them. Ah, okay, surprisingly not. Rather intriguing. I suppose, no, actually no, it does make sense. But yeah, I mean, we do have A5 and 4 Claude squadrons out here. It wouldn't be a bad idea to actually have posted aboard the actual Taiho, because then obviously we could have them, like, CV trained, which is quite nice. I thought the Taiho blew up because of poor fire control training of the crew, and also why they put the fuel stores, or where they put the fuel stores. I mean, you could. I mean, this is it. I kind of like the idea. I think it's one of those things of where it's making the best use of her. But it's like, you'd be able to be somewhat more aggressive, perhaps, at this early stage. Because obviously, I mean, 27 planes, it's not a tiny amount, and there's not a huge amount of enemy aircraft out this way. Interesting. No, I'll go for that. Yeah, it's like, for example, I have the A5M4s over here. It's like, they're carrier capable, but they're not carrier trained. And I could have them posted aboard Taiyo immediately, which I'll do. Yep. So, that's good. I mean, they're going to be aboard there for a while. Use them as their own integrated carrier. Squadron, sorry. Have a base over here at Bab al-Dawab. Oh, but again, what do I actually have here? Because obviously there's a lot to be done. ARD, AO, oiler, obviously, destroyer. This mod is basically vanilla plus, so it is a attempt at a much more realistic war in the Pacific. I'll post a link again so you guys can take a look if you'd like. Yeah, I need to find an AAR, then that'd be quite a good touch a link and like get people a chance to learn more about the actual mod. I like it, I think it's pretty cool. I like to actually approach the campaign again. You have to keep them on a CV for 90 days before you can use them. Well, you can use them without being carrier trained. Like, they're carrier capable, so they can still function. It's just obviously you want them to be carrier trained, so they're actually better at it. But yeah, you can definitely use them even if they're not carrier trained. Okay. I mean, this is it. We could have for them make. I suppose their way to track, and then they could obviously rendezvous with the 144th Infantry Regiment. Yeah, sounds good to me. But I think they could do a good job. I mean, this is it. They can actually pick up the A5 and 4 squadrons around here. So I mean, like 2 squadrons there, that's 18 of them. You pick up some bombers. You've actually got a little, you got a little force that could actually help support landings over here. When I play large games like this, I always have problems with forgetting about some really important carrier group. Oh, this is it. You got all the time in the world. Oh yeah, but they'll learn. They'll learn. I suppose at the end of the day, if you have additional squadrons made carrier ready now, it's not a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, there's a squadron there of 18. But I mean, the thing is, it's like we could actually have them use alongside the amphibious forces. Obviously, have the A5M4s brought in as fighter cover, which actually is quite nice. Obviously, you could even have some bombers aboard there, just light aerial support. But yeah, I mean, once they arrive in the area, you could have them, like, disgorge their fighters and pick up another squadron. Yeah, I quite like the idea. I think it's a nice way to make use of them. You got to try and find, like, the best in everything, really. But I like it. I like that idea. Okay. Obviously, like, the China campaign would definitely go a lot better in this one. Due to that, but yeah, there's not going to be confusion really about house rules or stuff like that, so things would be going ahead straight away. Like, we'd move a lot more of our forces, well, force from Manchuria immediately, rather than over the course of a couple of days. Well, a couple of turns. Yep, some assets around here. A couple over here in Nagasaki. Couple of yard oilers actually there. Nice little old task force there. I still really like these Victoria class cruisers. I think they're super useful. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. But yeah, I suppose another one to think about here, then obviously with the surprise rules, is like really how and what to hit. We chose not to actually hit the airfield at Singapore initially, or the port at Singapore initially. And that could be changed. I think hitting the port of Singapore isn't really like a massive payoff. I suppose you could obviously hit the airfield, but I don't think there's any bonuses. Well, I suppose this is it, and it's like the chance of like allied fighters getting off the ground. But I mean, with Singapore, it's like the AA. Well, the AA is not that strong. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I suppose on the first day you'd be better off... I suppose to some extent really just concentrating on, like, the Philippines. But I mean, there's always going to be bombers that are out of range, but yeah. I mean, like, a squadron at least of G3s is going to be tied up trying to hit Force Z, maybe 2 of them. Interesting. So I'm going to call the stream to an end here. Did you do the first day setup in less than 20 hours? I think I spent about 16.5 hours, but obviously the thing is, it's like I would have spent more time, but yeah, I obviously did have to like keeping THG weighing. But yeah, I think we'll do this, and when I don't have a turn, we'll also come back to this and we'll really go over it. But yeah, for those of you who've been watching this, thank you so very much, and do suggest your ideas down below. I mean, like, let's go over some stratagems. Let's go over really what we could do, why we should do it, and just advice. I mean, this is it. It's going to be nice. It's like a blank slate, really, to take a look at. And I mean, using this extended map as well, I mean, having, like, stacking limits and different, like, yeah, it's really awesome. It'd be very interesting. It'd be very interesting. So until next time, thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's a little bit more boring than usual, due to the fact there's no real action. But, yeah, theory is always cool, man. Until next time, thank you for watching, and goodbye, guys. Have a great one. Goodbye for now.